I'm pleased that you could join us. I'm very happy that in our studios this evening we have two honored guests, featured players from the Ghost of Telford Mansion, Mr. Winston W. Winston and Miss Rose Cotter. You serve as butler in Telford Mansion. Yeah, I think that's magnificent to be so totally committed. Don't most little boys want to be firemen or policemen or cowboys? And yet, when you were a little boy, you wanted to be a butler.
Well, I had to be a butler. And to keep on my family tradition, I had to be a butler.
But imagine in a house like that, with all that money and what have you, that you are probably and frequently in a situation where you're there when a great deal is taking place. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
What are the kinds of behind-the-scenes things that you see?
One thing.
Good evening. I'm Bob Clark. You've just met our stars, and this, of course, is CINEKYD Theater. Hello again. I'm so pleased that you could join us for tonight's edition of CINEKYD Theater. And what a program we have in store for you tonight. We'll be taking you behind the scenes. You're going to be meeting for the very first time the one and only Uncle Flywheel, and then later in tonight's broadcast, the spine-tingling first chapter of The Ghost of Telford Mansion. So let's get started right away. And it's my pleasure to bring to your attention again the tour guide for CINEKYD, the one and only Mr. Dave Trachtenberg.
Hi, I'm David Trachtenberg on CINEKYD Theater. For this season of CINEKYD Theater, I'll be your host, and I'll be taking you around CINEKYD. But first, I'd like you to know a little bit about me. I go to the Upper Moreland Middle School, and I like soccer and the Beatles. I like to act, and I like, making movies and coming to CINEKYD, and I've been coming to CINEKYD now for 3 years. A while ago, me and a couple of my friends made a movie called Visiting CINEKYD with a Friend. This was about a boy who had been coming to CINEKYD for a while, and he thought one of his friends might like to say it. So he told him that, well, why don't you see for yourself what he said? you just saw was a lot of fun to make. Me and my friends got together a script, and we got a camera and, decided to film the movie. But we needed some help, so we went to Dan Oceanreither, who was a graduate assistant of CINEKYD. He taught us a lot about, fixing up the script and getting the film ready. He's a graduate assistant of CINEKYD, which means that he goes to college, but in his free time, he comes down to CINEKYD and acts as a staff member, and he helps out the kids. He taught me a lot of what I know right now. For instance, my first video presentation was done with him, and he taught me how to, doing the acting, how to hold my head, and things like that, and projecting my voice. He really told me a lot. The film showed CINEKYD as it was a couple months ago, but now CINEKYD has grown a lot. And next week I'm going to take a tour of CINEKYD with you, and I'm going to show you the new facilities that we have. For instance, a dark room and a sound lab, and I'll also show you the old things, like, of course, the Gordon Audion, where our movie nights are held, and studio area and things like that. CINEKYD was built by the kids. For instance, I mentioned before the sound lab and the dark room. The dark room was built, and we have a sink in it now. And the sound lab, which has soundproof walls, so no interference with other sounds around CINEKYD, so people can still work on their projects and things that they're doing. We build sets, like the one I'm in right now. That was built, and we build, the outdoor sets and things like that. But CINEKYD, the kids who made this set, for instance, were not just, big kids. The big kids helped the little kids. So I think you can imagine that a little kid could build this set too, with the help of an older kid. For instance, a younger kid, Jimmy Jolly, who I taught a little bit about CINEKYD and acting. He is now a graphic artist. He learned a lot of his stuff from Brian Baker and Mike Wilson, who are two of the graphic artists now. He makes signs and things for around CINEKYD, labeling, the different areas of CINEKYD. But CINEKYD is really a fun place to be. I try to come in here every opportunity I have, after school or on a Saturday afternoon. And I'm interested in acting, and I also have a technical interest, and that's still photography. Marty Wilson, who's the leader of the crew, taught me how to develop a roll film and how to make a proof sheet of the film and then make enlargements. And we send them out for publicity, and they advertise the film, a film that we would be making. For instance, Whiplash, which is coming up, and Gargantua, which should be coming out next spring. And maybe, if you want to get involved in CINEKYD, you should stop by. So remember, I'm David Trachtenberg, and I'll see you at CINEKYD soon.
Thanks, Dave. And I know we'll all be looking forward to your tour next week. And our campus, it really has grown in just a short period of time. And now for something completely different. A brand new feature on CINEKYD Theater. And somebody that I think viewers, both young and old alike, are going to really find a pleasant addition to our series. We take you now far, far away to a place perhaps not on every map. It's the workshop of the one and only Uncle Flywheel. And tonight, you're going to meet the Commander-in-Chief himself, his helper Stuart, and a bunch of interesting friends who are all a part of Uncle Flywheel's workshop.
Hi everybody, welcome to Uncle Flywheel's workshop. I'm Stuart, Uncle Flywell's assistant. Me and the others are just getting ready for today's visit. You're a little early, Sadie. We don't have all the pictures up, and Uncle Flywell wasn't here yet.
I think I hear Uncle Flywheel coming.
Of course you do with those silly ears.
Hi, boys and girls. Hi, folks at home. Welcome. I'm glad you could visit with us today. And since it is your first day here at the workshop, why don't I give you a tour of the place? This is my assistant, Stuart.
He introduced himself already.
And these are my tiny helpers. Braino, Jimbo, and Enrico. And this is my workshop. What were you putting up on the bulletin board, Stuart?
These light writings, Uncle Flywheel, the ones the boys and girls did over the summer.
Ah. These were made by the 7 to 11-year-old boys and girls in our Camp CINEKYD program this past summer. Each year, the kids make their own motion picture and learn all about photography and acting and makeup. You get the idea. One of their projects was making these light writing photos. It's just like its name says, writing with light. Instead of making a print from the film in your camera, you use a pen light, like this. Why don't you show the folks how to make a light writing, Stuart?
Oh, sure. I can make any design I want. Just like this.
Of course, this would be done in a dark room, like the boys and girls here at CINEKYD used to create their light writings. And when Stuart is finished,
Ah, out here.
we'll ask Jimbo to take it down to the dark room, where one of our student photographers will develop it for us. Maybe sometime in a later visit, we'll explain more about developing prints. But for now, we'll just let the darkroom kids take care of it. It's a great way for the younger CINEKYDs to learn about making photographs. Thank you, Jimbo. And now we'll see how Stuart did. Well, you can see for yourself, boys and girls. See, when Stuart was doing his light writing, he couldn't see what he was making. It's not until you put in the chemicals in the darkroom that you can really tell what you've drawn. So that's the problem with doing something as elaborate as a picture of a...
It's a house, Uncle Flywheel, with the sun overhead.
Oh, good. Well, you can see the problem. Most of the boys and girls try to do simple things like just write their name. When you try and do something complicated like Stuart did, it might not turn out the way you expected. Right, Stuart?
No, that's the way I thought it would turn out.
Oh. Well, on to something else.
What's so funny?
Nothing, Stuart. On to something else.
Like what, tiny helpers?
Trick shots.
This was another project the kids of Camp CINEKYD did this summer. To help them learn about special effects in movies, they learned how to do some with a regular camera. This kind of picture, where there appears to be a tiny person standing on another person's hand, is a trick shot, or special effect. You can use the same trick to make someone appear on the post or in someone's cap.
We can do that without trick photography.
You can.
Yes, we can become any size we want.
Well, that's fine, but if you don't have special powers, you have to use trick shots. Something as simple as using a high angle to make Jimmy look smaller, or using a low angle to make Danny look taller. The whole idea is help the boys and girls at Camp CINEKYD to use more elaborate trick shots in their movie The Phantom Galaxy, which will be shown early next year. And then,
Well, on to something else.
well, I wasn't quite finished yet, but I guess it is time to go on to the birthday board.
Each week, we will read letters from boys and girls who celebrate their birthdays during that week. We love to hear from all of you and show your pictures on the air. Birthdays this week for Dana Waters, age 10, from Huntington Valley, who is a CINEKYD in the entire program. Also, Cindy McHenry, who is 13 years old, lives in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and is in our track program.
We want you all, kids and grown-ups, and tiny helpers, to send in a card or letter with your age, birth date, and town. Of course, your name. Of course. And send it to CINEKYD Theater, 129 Trailwood Road, Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, 19090.
Well, that's it for this visit to the workshop. We'll be on CINEKYD Theater most every week, so keep watching for us. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
She doesn't say her line?
What does she say after you say no?
That's when they jump in.
That's right. That's why all I want you to do is, you say, were you mad? But it's mostly Joe's response. Ready? Let's try it one stride. 1, 2, 3, action.
Were you mad? Toby, at the picnic, were you really going to shoot that man?
Hey! Hey! Hey!
We all Cindy.
Do it again. I need a smoke. Set up a two-shot of two little brothers. Well, I have to get ready. I'm coming up to the most beautiful scene I've ever filmed. Spielberg doesn't wear silly hats like that.
Very pretty place.
Yes, my father used to bring me out here when I was a little girl. We used to go wading in the creek.
Would you like to go wading now?
Hardly. Toby, at the picnic, were you really going to shoot that man?
I don't know.
Are you mad because I stopped you?
No.
Toby, Billy says there's a place down the streamway where the water's a lot deeper than it is here. And they can catch trout this big. You want to come along?
No, we move down later, all right?
Okay, come on. Are you going to kill El Diablo?
After we left the farm and even after I met Tom Chafin, I thought it was on my mind. But now, I don't know.
But you're no killer.
But they shot my paw.
They're mean, cruel men. And I don't want anything to happen to you.
Would it mean that much?
Yes. Wow, did you learn that back on the farm?
As you can see, our first Western whiplash will include not only the typical Western fare, gunfighters, horses, and such, but there certainly was romance in the Old West. And we're going to go now from that very beautiful scene to a brand new feature on CINEKYD Theater. Last year, in our first season, we were pleased to introduce the serial Mystery of the Seven Keys. Well, we have something entirely new and different, and I think even more exciting for you this year. What we have is The Ghost of Telford Mansion. This is our version of an old-fashioned movie serial. And we invite you to join us week after week as the suspense builds and you meet all of the different characters who populate this exciting drama. It's produced in its entirety right on campus in Willow Grove, with sets, costumes, and all the technical work being designed by our boys and girls. Now, I'll ask you, please, to forgive any small errors you see in the first chapter or two. You must understand that our producers are young and just beginning to learn their craft this season. But I don't think that's going to deter you from enjoying what has to be a very exciting first chapter. Here now, The Ghost of Telford Mansion.
Boy, it is awfully cold out there.
Yes, sir. Please sit down and make yourselves comfortable.
Listen, I'm sorry if we weren't informed about our arrival, but Mr. Cromwell was expecting us.
Yes, of course. There must have been some misunderstanding. Just a minute and I'll summon the lady of the house.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Telford, and this is my brother Bobby.
No, that's very kind of you, but this is the maid, Elizabeth. Please sit down and make yourself comfortable. Would it be kind enough for you to get these gentlemen a cup of tea?
Listen, I don't really want any tea right now. I just want to get this over with.
How about some coffee?
All right, I'll have some coffee.
And how about a glass of milk for this young fellow?
No, I don't like milk. You got a soda?
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
I'm sure once you get the refreshment, you feel much more at home. Sir, where are you going?
You want me to fix the rocker, don't you?
Through the back door.
This way shorter.
No, sir, through the back door.
Through the back door. Through the back door.
I'm sorry for the interruption, but this was the handyman, Master Jonas. Good help is very hard to come by. Would you excuse me and I'll see what we can do for you?
That guy's weird.
Shh.
Everybody in this place is weird.
Bobby, be quiet.
You gonna fire him?
No, we're not going to fire him. Bobby, sit down.
No, I just want to look around.
Bobby, sit down.
This is no fun.
It's not supposed to be fun.
This is ours, isn't it?
Yes, it's ours, but we just have to wait for Mr. Cromwell to get here.
This place have a TV?
I'm sure it has a TV, but you're not going to watch it now anyhow.
Will I have my own room?
Yes, you'll have your own room
And with a TV?
with a TV. Listen, Bobby, I know you're tired and you're bored and you want to get home, but you just have to be... Oh, thanks for looking up.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Telford, and this is my brother Bobby.
Hi, I'm Faith Parcher. Please be seated. Telford, are you related to my Uncle Thurman?
Yes, he's my great uncle. I didn't even know him, but when he died, he left us his place.
Oh, he did? The doorbell. Winston will get it.
Yes, Winston will get it. Refreshments are coming.
Winston is such a dear. He's been with us forever.
Mr. Cromwell, I presume.
How you doing, Jonathan?
Bobby?
Bobby? Me? Winston, take my hat and coat there.
Yes.
Sorry I'm late. Still late in court. Sit down, please. Oh, and a cup of coffee too, Winston.
Yes, sir, coming right up.
Faith, we have an interesting situation. Your uncle left a will, recently found. And he left, literally, Telford Mansion and everything to Jonathan and young Bobby.
Oh.
Don't worry. We'll take care of you and your aunt.
The doorbell again.
Winston will get it.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course, Winston, look at it. Refreshments are coming.
As I was saying, Faith.
Richardson W. Myerson III, I presume.
Richardson, what are you doing here? Well, I happen to be in the neighborhood, as usual. This is the mayor's son. Yes. This is Mr. Jonathan Telford, Mr. Robert Telford, And of course you know Mr. Cromwell. Are you staying?
Well, if you insist.
Yes, Winston will get it. Coffee for all.
As I was saying, Faye, I'd rather much discuss this with your aunt.
She should be here.
Must be the circuit breaker.
Somebody turn on the lights.
You gotta check the loose wires or something.
I gotta turn on the lights.
Aunt Zelda. This is Mr. Jonathan.
I know who they are.
You see, the reason they came is because...
I know why they're here. They've come to take my home away. But we'll see. We'll see.
Spend Halloween night with Frankenstein, Dracula and the Wolfman, and Abbott and Costello. Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, Glenn Strange, and many others join the great comedy duo and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. This week's family movie night feature is CINEKYD. CINEKYD's Roger L. Gordon Audion will come alive with all kinds of ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. Everyone who comes in costume will win a prize. Join us this Saturday at 7:30 for a Halloween costume party, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
We'll be continuing with The Ghost of Telford Mansion next week, along with a bright array of features and featurettes. Please join us at that time. I appreciate your watching and hope that you'll be with us for the next chapter of CINEKYD Theater. Until we meet again, this is Bob Clark saying good night and God bless.